Hello and welcome to Speak Bridge Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Speak Bridge Podcast. My name is Emma, and I am your host for today. Today, we are going to dive into an emotional, shocking, and unforgettable story about a young boy who loses his mother and is forced to survive alone in life. Stay with us till the end because this story may surprise you. Joining me today is our special guest, Daniel Carter.
Thank you, Emma. Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Carter, and I am very happy to be here today. I am excited to share this incredible story with all of you. Let's start our conversation.
Daniel, I want you to take us back to the very beginning. Who was this boy, and what kind of life was he living before everything changed?
Before everything broke apart, he was just a normal kid. He lived in a small neighborhood, not rich, not poor, but peaceful. His mother was his whole world. She worked hard every single day just to give him food, education, and hope. His father was not around, so the bond between him and his mother was extremely deep. Every morning, she would wake him up with a soft smile, and every night she would sit beside him, telling him that no matter how hard life gets, they will always stay together. He believed her words completely.
So she was not just a mother, she was his entire support system. What happened that changed everything so suddenly?
One day, she started feeling weak. At first, they ignored it, thinking it was just normal illness. But slowly, it became worse. She stopped going to work, the house became quiet. The smile that used to fill the room slowly disappeared. And the boy, he started feeling fear for the first time in his life. He didn't understand what was happening, but deep inside, he felt something terrible was coming. And that moment was the beginning of everything falling apart.
Daniel, the way you described it already feels heavy. But I want to go deeper. When his mother's health started getting worse, how did he react as a child? Did he understand what was really happening?
No, he didn't understand it fully at first. He was too young to realize how serious it was. But he could feel the change in the house. The laughter disappeared. The food on the table became less. His mother started lying down most of the day, trying to hide her pain. And the boy, he started doing small things for her without even being asked. He would bring water, try to cook simple meals, and even sit beside her quietly just to make her feel less alone. But inside, he was scared, very scared, because he had never seen his mother weak like that before.
That's heartbreaking. A child trying to become the strength of his mother. So, what was the moment when everything completely broke? When did he realize something serious was about to happen?
It happened one night. The mother suddenly got very sick. She couldn't even get up from bed. He called for help from neighbors, crying and shouting. The small house turned into chaos. People rushed in. Someone called for medical help, but the boy stayed frozen in one corner, watching everything with shaking hands. That night, he saw fear in everyone's eyes, and for the first time, he understood this might not just be sickness. This might be something permanent.
And that realization must have destroyed his world. What happened after that night? Did things improve or get worse? Daniel, after that terrifying night, when everyone rushed into the house, what actually happened to his mother? Did she survive, or was that the turning point of everything?
That night changed everything forever. The doctors came quickly, but the situation was already very serious. They tried their best, but the mother's condition was unstable. The boy stayed outside the room, sitting on the cold floor, holding his knees, praying silently. Every second felt like hours. People were coming in and out, speaking in low voices, and he could see worry on every face. Then, finally, the doctor came out. His expression said everything before even speaking.
Oh no, I can already feel what's coming. What did the doctor say to him?
The doctor gently knelt down and tried to speak softly, but the words still cut like a knife. He said they did everything they could, but her condition was too severe. The boy didn't fully understand at first. He just stared, confused. Then slowly, reality hit him. He ran into the room, and there she was, lying quietly, like she was just sleeping. But she wasn't waking up anymore. That moment, his entire world collapsed in silence. No scream, no sound, just emptiness.
That silence must have been more painful than any cry. A child losing his mother like that. What did he do after that moment?
He didn't speak for a long time. He just held her hand, refusing to let go as if holding tighter could bring her back. People tried to pull him away, but he resisted. Finally, when reality became unavoidable, he broke down completely. That strong little boy who used to take care of his mother suddenly became completely alone in this world. No family support, no father, no stability, just him and an empty house waiting ahead.
So this is where his real struggle begins. A child alone in a world that suddenly became too big for him. What happens next after the funeral and everything settles down? Daniel, after everything he went through, losing his mother like that, how happened immediately after? How does a child even survive a moment like this?
After the funeral, everything felt unreal to him. The house was silent in a way that felt painful. No voice calling his name, no smell of food, no footsteps of his mother anymore. People from the neighborhood came and left quickly. Some gave sympathy, some gave small help, but none of it stayed. When everyone left, the boy was completely alone inside that house. He sat on the floor for hours, just staring at the empty space where his mother used to sit. It felt like time stopped for him.
That kind of silence, it can break even an adult, but he was just a child. How did he manage those first days alone?
The first nights were the worst. He didn't sleep properly. Every sound scared him. The house felt too big, too empty. He would wake up suddenly thinking his mother would come and comfort him, but then reality would hit again. He tried to eat something, but food had no taste anymore. He stopped going outside for a while. He was trapped in grief, not just emotionally, but physically too. It was like the world outside continued, but his world completely stopped moving.
And during this time, did anyone come forward to support him? Any relative, any close friend, anyone at all?
That was the painful truth. There were distant relatives, but no one really took responsibility. Some said they were busy, some avoided the situation. A few people suggested he should stay with someone else, but nothing was permanent. He felt like a burden everywhere he went. That feeling slowly started changing him. The innocent boy who once depended on his mother now started realizing he had to depend only on himself. That's when something inside him started to shift.
So this is the beginning of his transformation from grief into survival. What decision did he make next that changed his life path? Daniel, after realizing he was completely alone and no one was really there to support him, what decision did he make? Because this is the point where most people either break completely or rise again.
Exactly. This was the turning point. One evening, he sat inside the empty house and looked around. Everything reminded him of his mother. The silence was no longer just sadness, it became pressure. He understood something painful but powerful. No one was coming to save him. That night, he made a silent decision. He would not wait for sympathy anymore. He would survive on his own. Even if he was just a child, he decided to become responsible for his own life.
That's incredibly powerful for someone so young. But how does a child even start surviving alone like that? Where did he begin?
At first, it was small steps. He started by organizing the house, cleaning the mess, finding whatever little food was left, and trying to manage daily life like an adult. He learned quickly that survival doesn't wait for emotions. If he didn't act, nothing would happen. Slowly, he began stepping outside again. The world felt different now. People looked at him with pity, but he avoided their eyes. He didn't want pity. He wanted control over his life. That mindset became his first real strength.
So pain started turning into discipline. But what about money, food, and basic needs? How did he handle that part?
That was the hardest challenge. He had almost nothing left. Sometimes he would skip meals. Sometimes he would rely on small help from neighbors, but he didn't depend on anyone for long. He started looking for small work, carrying things, helping shops, anything he could do despite his age. It was humiliating at times, but he kept going. Every small earning gave him a sense of progress. It wasn't just about money, it was about proving to himself that he could stand alone.
And this is where his personality starts changing completely, from a grieving child into someone stronger. What happens next as he continues this new life? Daniel, after he started working small jobs and trying to survive on his own, what was his daily life really like? I want to understand how a child handles such pressure every single day.
His daily life became extremely hard and repetitive. He would wake up early in the morning in an empty house, and for a moment, he would still expect his mother to call him. But then reality would hit him again. He started going out to find small work every day, carrying goods, helping in small shops, cleaning, anything people would allow him to do. Some days he would earn very little, sometimes nothing at all, but he never stopped trying.
That sounds exhausting, physically and emotionally. Was he able to keep going without breaking down?
He broke down many times, but quietly. There were moments when he would sit alone behind buildings or near empty streets and just cry without anyone seeing him. But after crying, he would wipe his face and continue working. Something inside him changed. He stopped expecting comfort from anyone. He started believing that pain was normal and survival was the only option. That mindset slowly made him stronger, even though he was still just a child.
So pain became his routine, but did he face any struggles from society or people around him?
Yes, a lot. Some people ignored him, some looked down on him because he was young and poor. A few even tried to take advantage of him by paying less or treating him badly. But he learned quickly how to protect himself emotionally. He stopped trusting easily. At the same time, there were also a few kind strangers who gave him small support, sometimes food, sometimes extra work. Those small moments of kindness kept him going when everything else felt dark.
It feels like the world was both hurting him and healing him at the same time. What was the biggest change in him during this phase?
The biggest change was his mindset. He stopped thinking like a helpless child. He started thinking like someone responsible for his own future. He began saving small amounts of money instead of spending everything. He started learning skills from people around him, how to manage money, how to deal with customers, how to stay calm under pressure. Slowly, he was building a new version of himself from the pain.
So this is where his transformation really begins to take shape. But I feel like something even bigger is coming next. What happens as he continues this journey? Daniel, we can clearly see he is changing, building a new mindset, but I feel like something major is about to happen in his journey. What is the next turning point in his life after he starts adapting to survival?
Yes, this is where his life starts shifting again. One day, while working near a small shop, he met a man who owned a small business. This man noticed how hardworking and focused the boy was even at such a young age. Unlike others, he didn't ignore him. He started giving him slightly better tasks, organizing goods, helping with basic store management. It was not a big opportunity, but for the boy, it was the first real step towards stability.
So someone finally saw potential in him instead of pity. How did that opportunity change his daily life?
His routine started improving slowly. He was no longer just surviving randomly on the streets. He now had a place where he was respected for his effort. He started learning discipline in work, how to be on time, how to handle responsibility, how to communicate with customers. The shop owner also started trusting him more day by day. For the first time after his mother's death, he felt something close to hope again. Not happiness, but direction.
That sounds like a very small door opening in a very dark room. But did this new stability bring peace, or did he still struggle emotionally?
Emotionally, he was still broken inside. Even while working, he would sometimes pause and think about his mother. The pain never fully disappeared, but he learned how to control it better. He stopped letting emotions control his actions. Instead, he used his pain as motivation. Every time he felt weak, he reminded himself that he had to survive for the life his mother wanted for him. That thought became his inner fuel.
So his pain turned into power slowly. But I'm curious, did this job lead him towards something bigger later on?
Yes, exactly. The shop was just the beginning. Because of his honesty and dedication, the owner started introducing him to more people in the business circle. He learned how small businesses operate, how money flows, how decisions are made. He was still poor, still young, but his mind was growing fast. And unknowingly, he was being prepared for a much bigger opportunity that would change his entire future.
So this is the calm before a bigger storm in his success story. I feel like everything is about to explode in the next part. What happens next? Daniel, we are now seeing him slowly building a new path, but I feel like something big is coming. After learning business basics and gaining small trust from the shop owner, what was the next major turning point in his life?
Yes, this is where everything started to shift again. One day, the shop owner got an opportunity to expand his business into a larger area. He needed someone trustworthy to manage small responsibilities. Surprisingly, he chose the boy. At first, it sounded impossible because he was still very young. But the owner saw something special in him: discipline, honesty, and hunger to learn. So he gave him a small but important responsibility. That was the first real trust placed on him in a professional environment.
That's huge. From a homeless, struggling child to someone trusted with responsibility, how did he handle this new role?
He treated it like his life depended on it. He started working harder than anyone else. He came early, stayed late, and made sure no mistakes happened under his responsibility. Slowly, people around the shop started respecting him. Even adults began asking him for help. He was no longer just a poor boy. He was becoming someone reliable. This change gave him confidence he had never felt before.
So this responsibility became a door to a new identity for him. But did this success affect him emotionally too?
Yes, deeply. On one side, he felt proud and stronger. But on the other side, the absence of his mother still haunted him every day. Whenever he achieved something small, he would think, if my mother was here, she would be proud. That thought was both painful and motivating. It kept him moving forward. His pain didn't disappear, but it became part of his strength.
That's such a powerful emotional conflict, pain and progress walking together. So what happened next in his journey? Did this opportunity lead him even further?
Exactly. Because of his performance, the shop owner introduced him to a bigger network of business people. He started observing how larger deals worked, how planning was done, how money circulation functioned in real business. His learning speed shocked everyone. He didn't just work, he studied everything around him silently. This curiosity became his biggest weapon.
So now he's no longer just surviving, he's learning how to grow beyond survival. What is the next major shift that pushes him toward real success? Daniel, now he's learning business, gaining trust, and even entering a bigger network. But I feel like this is the stage where everything can either collapse or explode into real success. What was the next major turning point in his journey?
Yes, this is the most important phase of his transformation. One of the business contacts from the network offered a small partnership idea. It wasn't a big company deal, but it was something new: buying and selling small goods with shared profit. The shop owner supported him and allowed him to try it. For the first time in his life, he was not just an employee, he was becoming a decision maker. That feeling changed everything inside him.
Wow, from a struggling child to a small partner in business. How did he handle that responsibility? Did he succeed or face failure at first?
At first, he struggled a lot. He made small mistakes in calculations, sometimes misjudged demand, and even lost a little money. But instead of giving up, he studied his mistakes carefully. He would sit at night analyzing what went wrong. Slowly, he started improving. His decisions became smarter, his planning stronger, and over time, the small business started showing profit. That was the moment he realized he could actually build something on his own.
So failure became his teacher. But emotionally, how did he feel seeing success after so much pain in his past?
Emotionally, it was overwhelming. Every small success reminded him of his mother again. He often looked at the sky after a good day and whispered to himself that he wished she could see him now. That mix of success and sadness stayed with him, but instead of breaking him, it grounded him. He never became arrogant. He stayed humble because he knew where he came from: loss, pain, and loneliness.
That humility is powerful, but I feel like something bigger is coming now. Did this small partnership lead him toward a much larger opportunity?
Exactly. His performance in the small business caught attention from a larger investor who was connected through the same network. This investor saw potential in his discipline and honesty. He offered him a chance to work in a bigger setup with real capital and structured business operations. This was no longer survival. This was the beginning of real success building.
So this is the true breakthrough moment. Everything he suffered is now slowly turning into something meaningful. What happens when he steps into this bigger world? Daniel, we've reached the final part of this incredible journey, from losing his mother to surviving alone, and now entering a world of real business opportunities. What finally happened when he stepped into that bigger world?
This was the most important stage of his life. When he joined the bigger business setup, everything felt overwhelming at first. The scale was larger, the money was bigger, and the responsibilities were serious. But he didn't lose his discipline. He stayed focused, quiet, and observant. He didn't try to act smart. He tried to understand everything deeply. Slowly, he started contributing real value. His ideas, his honesty, and his dedication impressed everyone around him.
So the same boy who once had nothing is now being respected in a professional world. Did his success continue to grow from there?
Yes, it grew step by step. He was promoted to handle bigger responsibilities. He started managing real projects and dealing with important decisions. The people who once ignored him now respected him. His financial condition changed completely. But the most important thing is, he never forgot where he came from. He always remembered his mother and the pain that shaped him. That memory kept him humble and strong at the same time.
That emotional connection to his mother seems to be the heart of his entire journey. How did he finally find peace after achieving success?
He never fully erased the pain, but he transformed it. One evening, after closing a successful deal, he stood alone and looked at the sky. For the first time, he didn't feel empty. He felt gratitude. He whispered that everything he had become was because of his mother's sacrifice and love. He realized that even though she was not physically with him, her strength was still guiding him every single day. That realization brought him peace.
That's incredibly emotional. A story of loss turning into strength and meaning. Before we close, what is the final message from his journey?
His final message is simple but powerful. Life can break you at the lowest point, but it can also rebuild you stronger than ever. He learned that pain is not the end. It can be the beginning of transformation. And even when you feel completely alone, the strength you build from that loneliness can create your future.
To everyone listening, if this story touched you, remember that your pain can also become your power. Don't forget to subscribe to Speak Bridge Podcast if you want more emotional and inspiring stories like this. Your support means everything to us, and we truly appreciate you being here with us today. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Emma, and thank you to everyone listening. I hope this story gives you strength in your own life. No matter how dark things get, there is always a way forward. Stay strong and keep believing in yourself.
This is Emma, signing off from Speak Bridge Podcast. Take care, stay inspired, and goodbye for now.